guys, it's Rosa here. I hope you're all having a wonderful day and Happy New Year. I hope everyone had a really good break over the holidays. And of course I've been doing a little bit of sewing, so I thought I'd stop by and let you know what I've been up to. I have actually, for I think probably the first time ever, made all the things which I intended on making. So I made a video back at, I think, the very end of November, and I shared what would be kind of my Christmassy sewing plans, and I actually managed to get them all done, so I'm feeling super pleased. And yeah, I'm really excited to share them with you. So without further ado, let's get started. I'll start with what I'm wearing. So this is a little dress which I made. It was very, very simple to make, as you can see. I'll insert some, I got Josh to take some photos this morning, so I'll put some pictures in here of me wearing the different items. Because if I'm honest, it's really cold. I really don't want to put them all on, and you can see a bit more clearly anyway if I put some full-length images in. So this is a wool blend which I picked up from the Village Haberdashery in Hampstead. I decided to fully line my dress just because it does have, it is a wool blend. I was worried about it being a little bit itchy, but also having a lining makes it just a little bit more just cozy in the winter, I find. So I'll put a picture in here of the very pretty fabric which I used to line it. The fabric I used to line it, I was umming and ahhing about what to make from it. I picked it up when I went shopping on Walthamstow Market with Harriet, from the Little Dressmaker, and I picked up absolutely loads of it, and I just wasn't really sure. I think I got like 2.5 meters, maybe even 3, with the original intention of making like a big swooshy dress, but the occasion just hasn't presented itself for me to make a huge, beautiful swooshy dress. So I decided, let's make a dress with a very pretty lining, and actually it's kind of pleasing to put, I don't know if you've done this before, but to put something on with like a really jolly lining kind of just puts a smile on my face. So yeah, I decided I wanted to do that. I used a New Look pattern for this dress, which was one of my old favourites. In fact, it's the dress pattern which got me into dressmaking. I made several versions out of quilting cotton probably about 7 years ago, and I just absolutely loved it, and I think it's the first pattern that I felt like super confident making, and so it's always got, you know, it's got a place in my heart for that reason. It's very simple. It's just a very flared A-line shift dress, and it has no closures. The adaptation which I made, of course, was fully lining it, which is very easy. You just cut 2 dresses and then sew them together. But I did change the neckline, so I wanted it to have this sort of plunging, quite low V, which I think looks quite nice, and I think it works particularly well in the cold weather. So I always got it layered up over polo necks and things like that to show you the neckline like this. So yeah, I think it's really sweet, and obviously I would always wear something underneath it because it actually is pretty low. I ummed and ahed about using one of those seam work patterns, but I decided I didn't want it to be fitted at all. I wanted it to just be really loose, really comfortable, and I added on little patch pockets, which you'll see in the photos too, which I don't usually add on pockets, but I figure that kind of really cute 60s shift dress vibe looks really adorable with patch pockets. So that's my first make. I made my usual size 10 and it came out just fine. This pattern is out of print, but I would say you can pretty much do this with any simple shift dress pattern you like, because the only alteration that I made was just cutting the neckline very low, which I quite like. So anyway, that is my first make. Let me get on to the next thing I made. So that was the first one which I planned and I did make. Super proud of myself. The next is a very simple top. So this is the named clothing polo neck. So I used this really lovely snuggly jersey, which is a leopard print jersey. Leopard print jerseys are everywhere at the moment. This one is from Fabricland, and I made this top using, I think, just 1.2 meters, so not too bad at all, maybe even just 1 meter. But yeah, it was a very wide fabric. Obviously it was like 150 or 160 centimeters wide. It did say 100% cotton. It feels like it has some elastane in there though, but I don't know, it's not actually that stretchy, so it's very snuggly, and you'll see in the pictures it does just have that kind of lovely snuggly look about it. So I'm super pleased with this one. It was a very quick and easy make. People have been asking me over on Instagram how I get the shoulders of my tops to look quite neat, I suppose. I mean, I don't use an overlocker, as I'm sure if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know me and overlockers do not get on very well. This is the inside of my shoulder seam. I just stabilize with clear elastic, and I actually have started recently, and I found it has much better results, just sewing the clear elastic on as I sew the shoulder seam, making sure that I do not stretch it at all, like while I'm sewing it, like keeping it really, really, really just flat basically. So I think that's I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely not an expert on this, but it works for me. And people have commented that my shoulders are very smooth on my seams, which is a weird thing that only people who sew would notice. But yeah, that's how I do it, if you were wondering. So that's a really nice, quick, simple sew. But I've actually got loads of wear out of it. I genuinely think leopard print just goes with everything. Moving on, let me show you something else made of leopard print. So this is, oh, and by the way, that was, as I say, named clothing Paola, but I did, again, my standard size, which is a UK size 10, and it comes out really nice. It has a looser fit than the Tilly and the Buttons Freya, which I would use to make sort of a tighter fitting top, like something more like this. So this has just got a little bit more ease, it's a little bit more snuggly, and yeah, I do really love that. So the next leopard print thing I'm going to show you, this is quite hard to show on camera, just holding up, so I will definitely be putting pictures in. But this is my all-time favourite sewing pattern. So this is New Look 6123, which is the bodice pattern I used for my wedding dress. I'll leave a link at the end of the video, end of this video, if you'd like to see the video about how I did that. So this is a lovely leopard print crepe, which I picked up, God, probably about 18 months ago, maybe even 2 years ago, from Simply Fabrics in Brixton. If you're in London and you haven't been down there, it is like a little Aladdin's cave. It's just gorgeous in there, so many beautiful fabrics. And I decided to put on a semi-circle skirt. So I ended up wearing this for New Year's Eve, which was great. And I've worn it a few times for sort of just friends' birthdays, things like that as well. So it is more of like a going outy dress. I mean, please ignore the colour of this zip. Like, I just couldn't find a zip in my stash that was the right colour. This is the closest I can find. I mean, I don't even know why I have a zip this colour. That is not a colour that I would ever wear. It's like this strange corally orangey colour. I mean, it's just not very me, but regardless, that was the only zip that I could find at the time. I need to iron this, sorry, because the facings are like popping out. But I really wanted to finish it, and that's all I had. And to be honest, because it is an invisible zip, you don't see any of it apart from the little toggly thing anyway that you pull down, so it doesn't really matter. And the fit on this actually is really nice. It's got a lot more movement than I thought, so I actually had to recut the hem, which is a nightmare. So I hemmed the whole thing. I think I was just being way, this is like just a story of warning here. So I was way too excited to wear this dress. I hemmed it, and then I looked at it hanging up like the next day, and I was like, that hem looks just awful. So it's because it's a circle skirt, I should have left it to hang, but I didn't. I was too impatient, and like it was, so the front of the skirt was here, and then it just kind of just sloped, and it just looked awful. So yeah, I had to just cut the whole hem off and then remeasure it all the way around. I let it hang for a few days, and then I hemmed it, and then it was fine, and now it looks pretty nice. But yeah, I've learnt my lesson, particularly with crepes. Like, this crepe had way more movement in than I thought, so like it quite easily distorts. And actually, I would say there are a few bits that look a little bit scruffy, because when the needle goes in, it does pull quite easily. So you get like white, very narrow white lines when a single thread has been pulled, if that makes any sense. I mean, it still looks nice. I would still really like this dress, but and because it's so, like, you can see that the pattern's kind of crazy, it doesn't really show up, but it was a little bit kind of frustrating when you're in the middle of sewing and you're like, why does this keep pulling? I did change my needle, which did help quite a lot. I do change my needle a lot these days. I'm feeling very proud of myself, because I used to just only change it when it broke, but actually now I change it regularly. The sewing's way better, who knew? But anyway, so that's my dress there. Again, my favourite bodice. I will stop using it one day, and that's also out of print, but there are so many mock wrap bodices around that are all lovely, so I'm very sure you could get a similar look, okay? So those are the things which I have sewn for myself, which I planned, and there's one more thing which I didn't plan, but I'm kind of obsessed with, and I made these the other day. You know those days, so we've been traveling a lot, so I haven't actually made a video for a while, so I do apologise, but so I made my last video at the end of November, and I knew I'd be busy, but then I got poorly. I wasn't seriously ill, but you know, I wasn't well, and I was like, nobody wants to see me looking this awful. So I didn't make a video when I was poorly, obviously, and then work was super busy, and then Christmas was here, of course, and then after Christmas, well, at Christmas and after Christmas, we've just been we were travelling around. We went to see Josh's family, my family, friends. We've just been, yeah, super busy all the time, which has been wonderful, catching up with everybody over Christmas. But yeah, I haven't been making many videos, so I do apologise. But I have made some crazy trousers in my absence. So I am obsessed. I've had this fabric in my stash for years and never really knew what to do with it. I just knew that I loved it. It's velour, so I think it has the look of like a silky velvet. I mean, I'm being pretty fast and loose there, but from a distance it does look kind of quite nice, like a silk velvet, I think. But it's machine washable, it's just velour, and it's super comfortable. And I decided to make myself a pair of culottes. I will leave a link to this pattern down below, and I'll put a picture in here. It is one of my favourite patterns. I would highly recommend it. It just has a simple elasticated waist. I'll try and show you here. So I made sure that I did a zigzag stitch over the elastic just to stop it from twisting in the casing, because I find that super annoying, like every time you go to the toilet and then your elastic like goes all funny. Like you have to like untwist it. So I sewed that down. And the nice thing about these legs is they sort of scoop upwards towards the outside. So if I show you like this, the middle is longer and the outside is higher, so you get like this very pleasing, almost like flower petal shape. I just feel like that's how it looks in my head. So yeah, they are really very lovely and very comfortable. I wore these to Harriet's baby shower, Harriet from Sew Me Sunshine, the other day, and I kind of felt like, I don't know, I feel really comfortable in them, but also like a little bit glam, a little bit dressed up. So it was quite nice for a sort of daytime do. It's not like you dressed up to go on a night out, but you're still really comfortable. But you know, you've made the effort. So I think they're really nice. I'm hoping to wear them a lot in the winter with tights underneath. Just a big fan of culottes, and I feel like sewists everywhere seem to be big fans of culottes. They just look cool, right? So that's my random make that I hadn't planned, but they took me like 2 or 3, maybe 2 hours. They're so quick and easy, and I'm kind of in love with them, so I'm excited to wear them. And the last thing I wanted to share with you, and this is the thing I'm just the proudest of. Like, I'm really pleased with all the things I made. These are all things that I've worn and will wear lots, you know, because they're all really practical. But I finished a knitting project, and it's like literally, I've never been so proud of myself in my life, you know. Like, forget getting a degree. This is the thing. I'm kidding, of course, but yeah, I am really proud of it. So I'll put some pictures in here of me wearing it, but it is the coziest, snuggliest thing, and it is insanely warm. I used the Rowan Big Wool. So this is Rowan Big Wool. It is 100% wool, and my only complaint is that it has been pilling quite a lot already. I mean, I have been wearing it, but I need to use I have like a little bobble off thing, you know, that cuts all the bobbles off your knitwear for you. So I need to do that on it. But that's my only complaint about it but I mean, I know that happens on everything, but I just feel like I have a lot of jumpers which are pure wool that have not bobbled. I think it's potentially because it is super chunky, and I feel like very chunky yarn probably does pill more. But I have been doing a lot of research. I'm a person who, when I'm learning something, will read everything that I can, because I really want to like get as much information as I can. But I've read that chainette yarn pills a lot less. And so this afternoon, for my second knitting project, I'm going to go and get some yarn from John Lewis, because I got some vouchers over Christmas from the parents at work, very kindly. So I want to get some chainette yarn, which apparently, yeah, pills a lot less. I think please leave me a message down below if I'm wrong, because again, I am a total beginner at this, and I really don't know what I'm talking about. But what I've read is that yarn that is like a loose twist, so this is very loose. You can see like the ply just pulls apart really easily like that. So yarn that has a very, I hold it a bit closer, probably won't focus on that, but anyway, so yarn that pulls apart very easily with a very loose ply, it will pill more, whereas yarns that are very tightly wound, as well as yarns like cotton, linen and silk, will pill less. So apparently chainette, because it is very tight and you can't pull it apart easily, it does pill less. And I know last time I was in John Lewis, I saw it and didn't really know why it was there. So I thought I'd try that. Because the next project I would like to make is one that was inspired by Maddie, and I'll leave a link to her account down below. So Maddie knit the most beautiful jumper, and I've written it down, so I'm going to open it up, because the minute I saw this jumper, all of us were just like swooning after it, because it's just so nice. And the name, and I went home and I bought the knitting pattern, and I'm really pleased with it. I got it on Ravelry, and it's called the Trefan sweater, and it is designed by somebody called Good Night Day Knits is the company name, I think. So Good Night Day Knits, is who I bought it from. I'll leave a picture here so you can see. It's just super cool. I love the style. I mean, Maddie's, she's petite and I'm not very tall either. So I feel like it would fit in a similar way. It's just one size, the knitting pattern, but in it, I've read it through. She did explain how you can sort of increase the size of it. I'm not going to be brave enough to do that at this point, but yeah, but it did look really good. I forgot to say, actually, sorry, this jumper is the Eden sweatshirt from Wool and the Gang. I chose to not use the Wool and the Gang wool for two reasons. For one, it is very expensive. I mean, big wool is not cheap, but it is cheaper. And also, I just find that those yarns look so chunky. I feel like they'd be very heavy and a little bit overwhelming on me because I'm not that tall. So I chose to do something a little bit a little bit looser. So I am really pleased with this one. I think it's turned out really nicely. It's the kind of thing that I do wear a lot and have already worn quite a lot, so that's quite a good sign. The only thing that I'm paranoid about is it's just completely falling apart, which I know is ridiculous, but like when I changed the yarn, you know, when you like run out of one ball and you have to like knit into the next one, I was like knitting loads of stitches to get it because I was so scared. And then when I was running in the ends, I was running them in forever. And so there's some like weird looking bits on here where there's just quite obviously a yarn been threaded through. I'll get better at that. I feel like I'll get there. It's all a journey. But I am super pleased with it. I think the next one, I mean, in the pictures of the Trefan sweater, which I put in here, it's in this beautiful like dark browny colour, which I just think is really beautiful. So quite tempted to try and find a yarn in a similar colour. Like it's sort of like a browny red, really beautiful, very flattering, really good for this time of year. So yeah, I'm excited. It does look slightly harder than this one. This was really sort of straightforward. It's just stocking stitch and rib stitch the entire way, and obviously increase and decrease, but that's not hard. So it does look harder, so it's going to definitely challenge me, but I don't know, I found it really relaxing. I'm going to film a plans video after this one and go into a bit more detail about what I want to do, but I just found it really relaxing, the process of knitting and learning to knit. So yeah, that was really cool. So those are all the things I've made for myself, and I've been pretty productive, which has been nice. You know, so close to Christmas, and actually knitting this jumper was a joy, really nice, and definitely going to be knitting more in the future. So the last thing I wanted to share with you was some adorable baby things. As you know, I've been making a lot of baby clothes recently. I'm very into it. So I have made some more petite pegs from Patterns for Pirates, and little matching teeny beanies again from Patterns for Pirates. I'll put a picture in here of what I made. So two of my besties have had babies basically who are exactly the same age, so I made them some adorable matching Christmas outfits. The Christmas fabric, nobody wants to buy it now, I'm sure, but it is from Stoff and Still. Again, I cannot praise their jerseys highly enough. They're just the best quality. They wash so well, and yeah, they're adorable prints. So really, really love those. And in other baby clothes making news, I made Harriet from Sew Me Sunshine a little set of petite pegs and a teeny beanie for her baby shower. And I've got a bit of the fabric left here. Let me show you. It's Stoff and Still jersey that I had in my stash, and I decided that was the best one for her. I thought it would suit with her style. And I've actually got quite a sizable piece left here if I wanted to make another pair for another friend, I don't know. But it's just adorable. So it's got these little umbrellas and clouds and rain. I just thought it was really lovely. So yes, so I made that for Harriet, and I'm very, very, very excited to meet her little baby very, very soon. So yeah, that is everything that I have been making recently. I hope you enjoyed seeing it. Please do let me know down below what you have been making, and we can have a chat. I always love to hear all your good plans, hear what you've been doing. It's really lovely. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to click subscribe if you'd like to see some more videos from me. And if you hit the little bell icon, you will get a notification every time I post a video. Yeah, that would be great. So that's everything for today, guys. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic week. I'll see you again soon. Bye.